If I could sit down with myself at 25 years old, I would not tell him which stock to buy. I wouldn't tell him to day trade, and I wouldn't tell him to find the next hot investment. I would tell him something much more important. You're solving the wrong problem, because wealth isn't created by finding one great investment or just earning more income. Wealth is created by building a system that continuously turns your income into assets. And eventually, those assets turn into freedom. And for Muslims, there's also another constraint. We have to build wealth without compromising our religion. I've spent years as an entrepreneur, an investor, a trader, and teaching Muslims about money. And looking back, there are things I understood way too late. So if I had to start over at 25, this is the exact halal wealth system I would build. Most people are trying to jump straight to investing. But if everything before investing is broken, investing won't save you. So let's start at the beginning. Number one, income. You need a bigger engine. The first thing I would tell my 25-year-old self is this: stop obsessing over saving pennies while ignoring your ability to earn more. There's a limit to how much you can cut, but there's almost no limit to how valuable you can become. When you're young, your greatest financial asset probably isn't your account. It's your earning ability, your skills, your knowledge, your reputation, your network, and your time. Your ability to use your time to gain skills, to learn how to solve valuable problems, because all you have is yourself to worry about, or maybe a small family. If you're making 50K a year and you become incredibly disciplined and save 20%, that's 10K a year. That's great. But imagine instead you develop skills that eventually take your income from 50K to 150K. Now, the entire game changes. That's why one of the best investments you can make when you're young might not be investing in the stock market right away. It might be becoming more valuable, learning sales, technology, leadership, business, communication, a profession, a specialized skill. Something that the marketplace is willing to pay significantly more for. But increasing your income creates another problem, because if every time your income goes up, your lifestyle goes up with it, you haven't really gotten wealthier. And that takes us to number two, margin. Protect the gap. Here's one of the most important questions in wealth building. Income minus lifestyle equals margin. Your income doesn't make you wealthy. The gap between what you earn and what you consume creates the capital that can make you wealthy. And this is where a lot of high income people get trapped. They make 100K, then 150, then 200. But every increase comes with a bigger house, a nicer car, better vacations, more eating out, more subscriptions, more of everything. And eventually you have somebody making 250K a year who still desperately needs their next paycheck. They look wealthy, but financially, they're fragile. And this was me in my mid-20s. If I could go back, I tell myself this: when your income rises, do not let your lifestyle rise at the same speed. Let the gap widen, because that gap is your wealth building ammunition. If you make 10K a month and spend 9,500, you have almost nothing left to build wealth with. But if you make 10K and can sustainably live on 6K, now you have 4K every single month that can begin buying your future. And this is harder than it sounds, because society rewards visible consumption. People see the car, they don't see the brokerage account. People see the house, they don't see the business equity. Nobody congratulates you for having a high savings rate or net worth. So building wealth often requires being willing to look poorer than you actually are for a period of time. But before that extra money goes aggressively into investments, you need another layer, because one emergency can force you to destroy years of compounding. So number three is your safety. Protect the machine. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking every dollar that it's invested is being wasted. That's wrong. Some money has a different job. Its job is not growth. Its job is survival. If every dollar you have is invested and suddenly you lose your job, your business slows down, your car breaks, or your family has an emergency, what happens? You become a forced seller. and forced sellers make terrible financial decisions. So before trying to maximize returns, build enough liquidity that normal life problems don't destroy your wealth building machine. For one person, that might mean several months of expenses. For an entrepreneur with volatile income, it may need to be more. The exact number is going to differ, but the principle is the same. Never put yourself in a position where a predictable emergency forces you to liquidate long-term assets, because once that foundation is stable, something powerful happens. Now your surplus money doesn't have to just sit there. It can start buying things, which takes us to number 4, ownership. Stop only working for money. This is where I think a lot of people misunderstand investing. Investing is not primarily about watching numbers move on a screen. Investing is about ownership. When you buy shares in a company, you're buying ownership in a productive enterprise. When you own a business, you own a productive enterprise. When you own productive real estate through a halal structure, you own an asset. And here's the transition I want you to understand. Your labor creates income. Your income creates capital. Your capital buys ownership, and ownership can begin working without requiring another hour of your labor. This is the game, because there are only so many hours you can work. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, maybe 16. Eventually, time becomes the constraint. Ownership breaks that constraint. A company you own shares in doesn't stop operating because you went to sleep. It doesn't stop selling products because you're on vacation. A business doesn't necessarily stop producing value when you go to Umrah or Hajj, because you're not personally performing every task. That's why I want Muslims to stop thinking about investing as gambling on stock prices. You're not supposed to be buying ticker symbols. You're supposed to be acquiring productive assets, and that distinction changes our behavior. A gambler asks, what's going up next? An owner asks, what do I want to own for the next 10 or 20 years? And once you start thinking like an owner, you naturally arrive at the next part of the system. If you've been learning about trading or investing from this channel, there's one question I get more than any other. How do I actually start investing the halal way? And for a long time, I didn't have a straightforward answer, because there wasn't one place that walked you through it step by step. So we've created a free halal investing guide that you can download by clicking the link below. If you're a Muslim who wants to grow your wealth but doesn't know where to start or what's actually halal, you're not alone. Every time you search halal investing, you get 10 different answers. You end up more confused than when you started, so you do nothing. And doing nothing feels safe, but your money sitting in the bank loses value every year, and most of the banks that we invest into are using our money for riba and also for causes that are directly opposed to the Muslim community. So the gap keeps widening and widening. That's exactly why we created this free halal investing course, a step-by-step roadmap that will help you with your first investment. We built this specifically for beginners. By the end, you go from confused about what's halal to being able to check an investment in a few seconds with free screening tools. So click the link below to join the Halal Wealth and Investing Club and get access to our free halal investing course. The link is in the description. Start there. All right, back to what we were covering. Number 5, compounding. Stop interrupting the process. If I could teach my 25-year-old self one thing about investing, it would probably be this. You do not need to constantly do things. We dramatically underestimate what happens when you make a good decision and then leave it alone. Speed builds income, time builds wealth. A lot of investors destroy themselves because they cannot tolerate the boredom. The market drops, they react. The market rallies, they chase. Someone on YouTube finds the next great secret stock, they switch. Crypto starts to run, they switch. Real estate gets hot, they switch. AI starts running, they switch again. But wealth usually isn't built by constantly moving your money around. It's built by consistently acquiring quality assets and giving those assets enough time to work. Think about what happens when someone invests month after month, year after year for 20 years. At first, most of the account is money they deposited themselves, but eventually something changes. the asset themselves begin producing more of the growth. The snowball starts doing more of the work. That's the point you're trying to reach. And this is why starting early matters so much. Not because you know more at 25, you likely just know less, but at 25, you possess something 30 additional years. Time is one of the few assets that no amount of money can purchase back. So I wouldn't tell my younger self to become obsessed with finding the highest possible return. I tell them, find a sound process that you can repeat for decades without blowing yourself up. And that brings us to the final piece, number 6. Freedom. Know what you're building towards. This might be the biggest mistake of all. People spend decades accumulating money without ever deciding what the money is actually supposed to do. More money, more money, more money, until eventually money itself becomes the goal. But money is a terrible final goal. Money is a tool. The real question is, what do you want your assets to make possible? Maybe you want to provide for your family. Maybe you want to expand and give to the community. Maybe you want to move to another part of the world. Maybe you want a certain type of education for your children. You want to take care of your parents. Maybe you want to spend more time studying the religion. Maybe you want to build institutions. Maybe you want to give enormous amounts of sadaqah. Maybe you simply want to stop making every major life decision based on your next paycheck. That's what the portfolio is for. So I would actually give my younger self a target. Eventually, I want the income and growth produced by my assets to be capable of supporting the life I currently fund through my labor. Labor creates capital. Capital buys assets. Assets create freedom. At the beginning, almost everything comes from your labor. Over time, more and more should come from what you own. That is the transition. And once you understand this, investing stops being about getting rich quick. It becomes about systematically reducing how dependent your life is on selling your time. So let's put the whole thing together. If I were 25, again, this is my system I would build. First, increase your income, become more valuable, so the wealth building engine gets larger. Second, protect the margin. Don't allow your lifestyle to consume every increase in income. Third, build safety. Protect yourself from becoming a forced seller. Fourth, acquire ownership. Systematically use your surplus to buy productive halal assets. Fifth, let compounding work. Stop constantly interrupting good investments. And finally, define freedom and make it big. Big goals that you scale 10x, 100x, force you to think differently. Know what you're actually trying to make your money accomplish. Income, margin, safety, ownership, compounding, and freedom. And here's what I want you to notice. None of this requires you to predict what the stock market will do next. None of it requires day trading. None of it requires getting rich overnight. And none of it requires compromising your religion. It requires building the machine in the correct order. Because once the machine is built, every paycheck gives it more fuel. Every raise gives it more fuel. Every business win gives it more fuel. And every year gives the assets you've already accumulated more time to compound. And that's how time builds wealth, and wealth becomes systematic instead of accidental. Now, if you're thinking, okay, Abdullah, I understand the system, but what exactly am I supposed to invest in if I want to keep my portfolio halal? That's the next question, because not every stock qualifies, not every ETF qualifies, and just because something is called an investment doesn't automatically make it permissible. We put together a free masterclass that you can grab by clicking the link below. If you have doubts about wanting to be wealthy and you feel guilty about wanting to be rich or wealthy or go after money, I've served as an imam for about 17 years, and I put a video together about what I've learned about money that helped me and help others not only get rid of the doubt and understand where wealth fits in our religion. To see that video, click here.